It was the first time a disaster like that occurred in Bujumbura. It was on the night of 9 to 10 February 2014. Rain fell incessantly on the city and the surrounding area for almost 10 hours, causing rivers to rise and landslides. About 12,500 people lost their homes and more than 60 people died. Amongst those, 52 were children under the age of 10 years. One year after, another disaster in Bujumbura rural. In the afternoon of 29th March 2015, heavy rains caused floods and landslides in Nyaruhongoka and Rutunga, located on the edge of Lake Tanganyika. At the place, there were heavy stones which rolled down the hills, weighing up to 2 tons each. The catastrophe resulted in the destruction of 349 houses, 2 churches, 1 health center, and 14 schools, with the affected area entirely covered by mud and stones. The population were forced to use the Lake Tanganyika for transportation of persons and goods by canoe, putting them at high risk of drowning.
The flood occurs when a river bursts its banks and water spills onto the floodplain. Flooding tends to be caused by heavy rain. The faster the rainwater reaches the river channel, the more likely it is to flood. The nature of the landscape around a river will influence how quickly rainwater reaches the channel. A river channel surrounded by steep slopes causes faster surface runoff. A lack of trees and plants intercept precipitation. If there is little vegetation in the drainage basin, then surface runoff will be high. Unfortunately, since the catastrophe of March 2015, nothing has been done to restore the river to the normal state. The government, especially the ministry in charge of environment, must do everything to reforest the mountains. The population must be sensitized on the consequences of deforestation. I also ask the international community to strengthen the government's capacity to manage disasters in order to prevent the recurrence of similar events.
Ndizera neza yuko vyomanukana n'inguvu nke ariko bitabaye uko urumva ko abanyagihugu bagifise ibibazo. Ikintu twosaba leta nuko yoshiraho gukurikirana abanyagihugu ko umunyagihugu ategeza gukorera kuvyo leta ishize.
Zizanya amabuye menshi ibintu mutari mumenyereye birya ni kwisi uyu munsi ivuga ni nko gushavura.
When you see rivers flowing with those big rocks and mud, it means that there are no trees and grass on the mountains. Normally, when it rains, water enters the ground until the water table. But because of the human activities, because of the rapid population growth, now people have occupied all green spaces. Therefore, there is deforestation on the mountains. The impact on the environment is what we are living now.
Ihagarika amazi kugira ngo umuvuduko ntabandanye acatemba agira inkukura. Hariho ibiti n'ivyatsi amazi cakorara yaranyengetera gushikashikira ico twokwita na phreatic area hasi hanyuma gasohoka imyonga. Ubu rero kubera ata biti bihari ata vyatsi bihari bifata bikwiye amazi cakora imvura iguye amazi acaba menshi agaca.
The earth is very frustrated, and this is how it speaks. To reduce the speed of the water, we need to reforest the mountains so that water enters the ground and come out as streams. And I'm telling the truth, the years that it took to degrade the environment will be the same time to reforest those mountains. Don't think that it can finish within 1 or 2 years.
Ataruko urabona ko amazi acamanuka ari menshi ku murindi udasanzwe ufise n'ingufu zidasanzwe ugaca utwaye ibibuye. Yego kandi
Victims from Bujumbura were placed in Kinama sites to be assisted by humanitarian organization, while those from Bujumbura rural were placed in Gitaza and Kashi sites. The Gitaza site has 140 households. People in that site live a miserable life. Life is too hard here. We can't even go inside the tent. It's very hot inside during the day, while in the night it becomes very cold. For example, my baby is sick, but he can't sleep inside because of the heat. My baby has born here, and now he has asthma caused by the cold of this place. We were placed just behind the Lake Tanganyika. That's why in the night there is a violent wind. We asked the government to find us another place to live.
Abaganga bariko bambwira ko byo bakumbe kuko bansaba kumufuka cyane kwasaba ko bodufasha tukaronka ahantu tuza tukava muri ano mahema.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How did you come here?
We came here since March 2015. After disaster, we moved to this place. Now we struggle to satisfy our needs. They provide us with food, but it is not enough. And we don't have coal to cook the food. We have to struggle in order to get some money.
Do you have a family?
No, if I had them, they could help me because I'm disabled.
So you live alone in your tent?
No, I live with my friend.
How is life here?
We are in a bad situation. The tents are also small for those who have families.
Is your business help you?
Yes, it helped me to get some money to buy salt, soap, and coal for cooking and other small things.
none musaba iki kugira ngo mushobore
So what do you ask?
aho mwahora?
We ask the government to give us other lands so that we can build our own houses.
baradufungura rimwe mu kwezi nk'iyo bishoboka baraduha muri rimwe mu kwezi bakadufungurira ibigori n'ibiharage n'amavuta ariko baduhereza ibiro 30 buri muryango.
The first day they gave us 30 kilograms of maize and 45 kilograms of beans. The last time they assisted us with 30 kilograms of maize and 15 kilograms of beans with cooking oil and salt.
Ibiro 15 by'ibiharage n'amavuta n'umunyu n'isu. Ubuzima bwa hano n'ukuri ntibutworohera kubera ntaho dufise dusaganiriza uko nta mugambi dushobora gutorera hano turimo tuno duhema.
We live a miserable life here. We are a family of 12 persons and we live in one tent. The tent is too small. We can't even plan for a project being in this place. We are not assisted in medical care. We ask to be placed in another place.
Nuko mwebwe mudushikira ibukuru kubavyeyi mwodusabira ukuntu twova hano kugira ngo dusubire baturabira aho dukira canke mwebwe nyene murabe ukuntu byogenda kugira ngo tuve hano hantu nako dushobore kurondera ubundi buzima ntitugume dusabiriza tubayeho nabi kandi abantu dukomeye tutari bimuga.
The International Organization for Migration and the Red Cross has provided the most vulnerable victims with direct assistance through the distribution of shelter kits and non-food items to households affected and displaced by that disaster. Also, the World Food Program has been providing food assistance to those victims.
barya aho mwo babonye ni mu bice vya hirya za Gitaza harabagiye gushora muri commune ya Bugarama harya bari nifata kibanza na murabona yuko bari mu mahema bijya ni gupfupfahaza gusa ikibazo cabo gikwiye gukemuka gute bakwiye kuvaho.
Those people are there for a short time. We saw that they live in tents and they are in a bad situation. We have to find another place for them. They are located on a bad place. Can you imagine if the lake causes a disaster? That's why we are obliged to do it urgently. We have to work with the ministries I mentioned before. Our ministry will provide them with lands. We will also give trees to build their houses. Yes, we can help, but other ministries have to contribute.
N'ibiti navyo bibitara bitwagwa muri iki gisata ciwacu ubuyobozi bukuru tujejwe turashobora kwifashamwe mbere bana dusavye ko twobaha ibiti.
I appreciate the politic of building villages for vulnerable. It is the work of many ministries, so everyone has to contribute for that. In those villages, the government builds schools, hospitals, and the population is developed. If the government supported those people in the villages, it will be a good thing.
Twebwe wese afise akantu ashobora guterera kugira ngo ivy'ibigwati bigende neza. Ndifuza cyane no kuri bagiye mu bigwati turatera imbere kuko abantu bagiye mu bigwati ni iterambere ridasanzwe haboneka amashuri amazi amavuriro n'ibindi byinshi kandi n'abantu bagaca biga kubana mu mahoro.
A miracle occurred. One house just behind the river made of mud bricks was not destroyed. Unbelievable.
Nuruzi nyene gwasaje gwamenesha nyene rurashara ibintu byose byarononekaye.
We heard big noise from the mountain like an earthquake. We knew what was happening too late. The first thing I did, I evacuated my children, but I couldn't save nothing from the house. I thank God because my house wasn't destroyed. It was unbelievable seeing other houses flowing with the river, but mine staying intact. Now my friends help me to survive with my 4 children. Before, houses were not near the river, but with time we began to see this river approaching our houses. Some people used to say that 10 years ago this river had destroyed things like what we saw in 2015. We don't know why this happened. I think that those rocks came with the river from the mountain caused by the heavy rainfall. I can say that it is a miracle to see my house still standing here. Even my neighbors couldn't believe this. When I remember the strong houses which were picked up like matchsticks, but mine still standing, I don't even understand.
Inzu zikomakomeye zigatwagwa izirimo amabeto zikagenda amashengero yari yubasha akomeye agatwagwa numva nazo umenga igitangaza kinini sobanukirwa ibyo ari byo.
The disaster began in the village of Rutunga in Bujumbura rural province. Mountains have collapsed, causing huge damage in hill. The impact of the disaster affected a second village called Nyaruhongoka, destroying houses and many lots of their belongings. 3 hours of heavy rain and hailstones dislodged a side of the mountain. The mountain slid into the river, creating a sudden blockage. This meant the rainwater had nowhere to go and caused serious flooding in Rutunga village.
It is good to help victims, but all along the Lake Tanganyika, there are people living near or into the lake. Is the government of Burundi doing something to prevent and protect the population from any tragic incident which can occur? We came here from 1993 during the war. Our neighbors chased us away, saying that we hide criminals. Our children live in a high risk. We try to protect them, but sometimes they are drawn, especially the small ones. You see, even my house is destroyed.
Where can we go?
So how do you protect your children?
How can we protect them? Some die, others are eaten by crocodiles, hippopotamus. Sometimes the hippopotamus come here in the night to graze. So when you go out for toilet, you can meet them. It's very dangerous for us, especially children.
Do they eat persons?
Yes, there is one that used to eat our children, but we killed him.
Oh yeah.
How is your security?
We are not secured. Our houses are destroyed. We wonder what will happen for our houses in the next rainy season. We wait for a disaster at any time. We have nowhere to go. I can't go far from these children. You see that girl? She has to make sure that their siblings are secure.
kandi ntashobora kugira ngo abe bamumanukane ngaha oya kandi bahatse napfu baba bahatse vuba so kuvuga ngo barakoze bakuye ngaha.
How is the night here?
In the night, there is violent wind and water hit up to the door. In the night, you can't even see those rocks.
mubona bizogenda gute mu myaka izaga muta ko mbona amazi ari kara uruzi ikera kiko kiraduga kandi wumva kiko kirabashikira bizogenda gute mu myaka.
So what is your future here?
I came here when I was 20 years old. The lake was very far. But now I see that this year of 2016 we will have to move from this place, though we have nowhere to go.
N'ikibazo gisaba gukorana ku bushikiranganje butari buke na cyane cyane harimo ubushikiranganje bw'intore hagati mu gihugu no gukundisha igihugu.
That issue has to be resolved by more than one ministry. I can say the ministry in charge of environment, the ministry of solidarity, and the ministry of interior affairs. Even the director of water is involved in that matter. So we have to sit together. I haven't gone yet to see those people. I have been on field to see those mountains from Nyaruhongoka.
bwagishira imbere na cyane cyane n'abandi bashobora kudufasha nigisata ubuyobozi bukura buraba ivy'amazi rwo bashobora ikintu dugufashamo yego donc urumva yuko ari ubushikiranganje butanye bakwiye kucicarira kugira kive mu nzira sitwe twenyene.
Environment degradation and climate change cause also disappearance of rivers, and it has an impact on the Lake Tanganyika.
Nico kimwe imvura iguye amazi ntanyengetere ngo ashike hasi kugeza haje twovuga mu bubiko na phreatic hanyuma haje hasoka imyonga.
It's the same phenomenon. As I said before, when it rains, water enters the ground until the water table, and after it comes out as streams that flow into the rivers. So when there is deforestation, water flows on a high speed without entering the soil. That's why rivers are disappearing nowadays. About the Lake Tanganyika, it is the same thing. When the rivers flowing into the lake are disappearing, even the water level from the lake decreases. If it continues like this, boats will not arrive at the port of Bujumbura, which has an impact on the economics of Burundi. Lake Tanganyika is also affected by the floods. Those rocks, mud, trees, and all those water flow into the lake.
Ikindi ingaruka mbi bifise ku mazi tufate nka regidezo ipompa amazi muri Tanganyika nkubazo babwira yuko kubera cyane cyane ubucafu uva mu gisagara ca Bujumbura aho bahora baja gukwega kudubika kaptage y'amazi.
Now, the public sector company in charge of the production and distribution of water, Regideso, capture water in the middle of the lake. If you continue to pollute the lake, Regideso will have to capture water from the side of Congo, and it will cost us too much. It also has an impact on fish. Fish can't live in water full of waste. Therefore, it reduces fish productivity. We have to preserve our water.
Nka stock y'amazi meza vuba cyane bizodutera ingorane kugira turonka amazi. twebwe cyane cyane ko bene gihugu tusanzwe dukorana neza uyu munsi bariko baravyumva mugabo biva kure nuko twoja hamwe tugasubira tugakingira irya misozi tukongera tukubahiriza.
Now we are working very well with the population, though it is very difficult for them to understand the prohibition of deforestation. We are sensitizing population who live near the rivers and the lake to respect the 150 meters. We have to work with the local administration, the governors, and all the ministries in order to protect the environment.
N'ababijejwe haba abatwara imitumba, abatwara amakomine, abatwara intara, ubushikiranganje nka bwose kugira ngo twitwararike cyane gukingira ibidukikije.